Well, 300 demonstrators gathered near the uptown headquarters of the Army Corps of Engineers, and they echoed the widespread belief that this is where the blame must lie.
Fix the levees now! Fix the levees now!
The threat of rain worried the organizers of the protest, but it didn't deter a huge crowd from showing up.
Fix the levees now!
The organizer, Sandy Rosenthal, who is passionate about rebuilding our levees better and stronger.
Don't we all deserve levees that work? Hi, this is my town, New Orleans, where we were also protected by an army. Hi, this is my town, New Orleans, where we were also. Hi.
This is my family, my town, my house.
All protected by an Army Corps federal levee.
Hi, this is my town, New Orleans, Louisiana, where we were also protected by an Army Corps federal levee. With levees in every state of this nation and over 120 possibly vulnerable to this kind of disastrous failure, we all have a lot at stake. This land is our land. Please go to www.levees.org and join us. Don't we all deserve levees that work?
After the levees failed in New Orleans, the people responsible for making the levees,
the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, investigated themselves.
Hey Bob, how the levees look?
looks good to me.
But recently it was discovered that the organization trusted by the White House
to make sure the reports were valid were in fact controlled by the Corps, and they lied about the death count.
So who's in charge of finding out the truth about the levees?
The Army Corps of Engineers asked the American Society of Civil Engineers to handpick some members to find the truth.
Then they paid them nearly $1 million and awarded them medals of honor. Way to go, guys.
So who's in charge of making us safe?
The same Army Corps of Engineers.
Please support the 829 investigation so this nonsense can stop.
Go to www.levees.org to demand the 829 investigation.
Go to levees.org and join us. We all deserve levees that work. It's hard to make that sound cheerful.
We're almost there. By joining levees.org, you can, okay, like I said, make sure that what? That we're heard. Okay. Okay. And we can be sure that we'll be heard. There's a lot of words with R in there, and I'm
Next on Night Watch, levees.org says it has discovered attacks posted on its blogs are coming from inside the Army Corps of Engineers.
Just a few days ago, I discovered some solid evidence that showed that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers had been systematically logging onto my blog and leaving comments that are attempting to shift responsibility for the New Orleans flooding away from the civil engineering profession and instead onto the citizens who live here. Thank you, Dr. Van Heerden. Thank you for doing what is right. Thank you for standing up for so many who were silenced with intimidation. And thank you for doing it at enormous personal expense.
We came to Holland to find out more information to help us spread the word that levees and failures is not just a New Orleans problem, but not only a national problem, but an international problem. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, you're correct. We can learn a lot from this country particularly, and the city of Rotterdam, but also the whole country of the Netherlands. And we must learn, because if we don't and admit what we've done wrong, it will happen again. Absolutely. And we want to make sure, just like the Dutch, never again.
Every centimeter of ground in this country is planned very well, and it's planned for urban use or residential use or agricultural use or recreation use. It's also planned for water, and the water in the polders is managed to the centimeter level. The rain last night, the water board is now moving water around to keep the groundwater surface water levels correct, but not to overflow this river with too much water. So they're managing it very well.
The message is that Katrina did not destroy New Orleans. New Orleans was destroyed by a flood project that was not designed right. And Alec, that's a crucial distinction because our flood protection is a federal program, and it's run by a federal agency called the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. That was 4 years ago. At our kickoff rally, levees.org was saying Katrina did not flood New Orleans. And here we are today, 4 years later, and we've asked our New Orleans City Council to pass a resolution urging local media to stop using Katrina shorthand, to stop saying Katrina flooded New Orleans.
Stop saying that Katrina was the result of a natural act. The reality is that Katrina was a result of an act of negligence.
On a rainy May morning just before the start of hurricane season, bikers departed New Orleans City Park. They were headed to two historic sites where federally built levees collapsed during Katrina in 2005 and flooded 80% of New Orleans. Hosted by levees.org in 2012, this was the first ever levee disaster bike tour.
People, both here and from outside New Orleans, still have a natural desire to see the levee breach sites, to see the affected neighborhoods. And what better way to do that than a bike tour? Here and about 5 blocks down on the other side of the canal.
Led by founder Sandy Rosenthal, the group first cycled to the London Avenue Canal breach site, next to a once thriving but now deserted neighborhood. A state historic plaque told the sad story about how hundreds of people died in the floodwater, and about how the Army Corps of Engineers, though legally responsible for the disaster, could not be held financially liable due to sovereign immunity.
And as I look at the Lower Ninth Ward, I see resilient people. I see people who have been graced by the grace of God to say, you know what, I'm going to put my needs and my cares on the side and let's build our community.
But I'm glad now there is a monument here. There's something to tell the people about what actually happened here. Again, we commend levee.org for their help and their participation in making sure that this spot is now commemorated for those who ever come here can see where the levees actually broke.
But levees.org founder Sandy Rosenthal says she had to fight the Corps just to see the inspection ratings. And when she got them, they did not inspire confidence.
The fact that the levee maintenance was given a grade of minimally acceptable should have been made public.
That's right. All levee sections in New Orleans got the middling rating of minimally acceptable. That's worse than the acceptable or even outstanding grades they got before some of them collapsed in Hurricane Katrina.
Most of the levees we inspect get minimally acceptable.
New at 6, 14 years after Hurricane Katrina, a unique museum opened to remember what the storm left behind. The Flooded House Museum in Gentilly. The museum, which was once a single-family house, flooded to its roof line when the London Avenue Canal breached just a few yards away during Katrina. The exhibit features plaques on the house's columns that explain the storm, starting the day before the catastrophic flooding.
This all begins right here, the site of the worst engineering disaster in the history of the United States, and actually the worst in the world, second only to Chernobyl.